Hello and welcome everyone, this is me, theoritical. In yesterday's video, we have discussed about the character set, C tokens, as well as keyword and identifiers. We have already discussed about numeric constants as well as character constant in yesterday's video. If you want to see the yesterday's video, you can just click on that I button and go to the video. So for today's video, I will be discussing about variables and data types as well as classes of the data types. So let us begin today's video. So let's move on to our first topic in today's video. The first topic in today's video is about variables. So let me start with variables with its definition. Variables is a data name that is used to store a data value. And unlike characters that we have discussed in yesterday's video, variables can be used as multiple times and can be changed in the execution of the program. A variable represents name of the memory location. Declaring a variable doesn't mean that you are going to make any new location in the memory or something like that. You are just going to name a name memory or a part of memory by giving it a symbol which makes it easily identified. I have already told you about the identifiers in previous video, in which I have already told you that the variable is an identifier, so the naming of the variable is similar to those of the identifiers. Identifiers are not similar to the keywords, in which you have to write the name that is understandable by the compilers. In the variables in the program, you can choose any of the name for your variable. You can see some of the examples of the variables such as average, sum, and etc. So let's go to the example of variable declaration. In the slides that you can see, there is written int j = 10, in which j is our variable which is used to store the data that is given, that is integer data that we have given in this example, that is 10, and it is stored in the location of 2374 because it may change after some time, so it cannot be remembered. So we have to give the name for its location, which is given by the integer j, or you can say that j variable. So let's move on to the next slide, because we will be also seeing them in our next sessions, in which we will be discussing about preprocessors and then scanf and print functions. So let's go and see some of the rules of variable declaration. You should have already known that the variable declaration means the giving of location or giving location to a memory address or location address in our RAM, or you can say that just memory. We go to the rules of declaring variables. So let me start with rule number 1. Any variable should be defined before using it in a program. It means that if you want to use a variable in a program, you should have to declare it before its operation. If you want to do the addition of two numbers by declaring a and b as two numbers, then you have to first of all declare the two numbers that are a and b before the operation a plus b to use them in a program and make them valid program. And another rule is just the syntax of using a variable or declaring the variable. The syntax for declaring the variable is data type, then variable name, and semicolon. Many new programmers make mistakes by doing the syntax of the data types variable name, but that is the wrong syntax, and it will show the syntax error if you try to compile that program in dev C++. So this is a example of a variable declaration that you can see on the screen, in which I have declared various data types such as float radius, which means a decimal, and char gender, which will take the character, and int means it will be integer number. Now let's move on to another topic of today's video, that is data type. A data type simply specifies the type of data that a variable can store, such as integer, floating, character, etc. It's not something like a new topic or something, it just means the types of the data that we are going to enter or a user is going to enter in the program. Actually, C language is rich in its data types. There are many more data types than you can see or we will be using, which are represented differently within computer memory. Now let's talk about the classes of data types. So C supports three classes of data types, which are primary, derived, and user defined. In the primary, there will be data types that we will be using many more times in the program, such as character, integer, floating point, and void. In other thing like derived, we will also use them many more times in our C language very often. While user defined functions such as structure, union, and type are used less than that of primary and derived classes of data types. Let's move on to the types of primary data types. First of all, I have placed integer data types because integer is one of the most important data types if you want to read or learn the C programming from the beginnings. So let me start the integer data types. Integers are whole numbers. They may be positive, negative, or zero, but they are not fractional numbers. All the whole numbers are represented by using integer data types. In the second point, there are the cases in which you can use the integer data types. If the data types that we are giving or the user will be giving is very short, then we will be using the keyword short or shortened. We can use both because both of them will use the same amount of bytes in our memory. And if the data that the program will be receiving is long, then we can use long or long int keyword to store the long integer data types, or we can also long or long int keyword to use very long integer data types. Long int will take 10 bytes of computer memory space, so it will be really waste of storage if you want to store a short value in long keyword. You should also have to make the program run with less RAM or less resources, so you have to remember what data type that you are going to use in your program may affect it very hardly in the future. Now let's start with floating point types. Floating point data types are not any of the different than integer data types. The only difference in floating point data types is they take the given data types in fractional numbers. If you input 1 in floating data types, then it will be represented as 1.00 in your computer memory. Like there was int in the integer data type, there is a float as its qualifier. Floating variables can be defined as float and a, float b, and then semicolon. Floating data types reserve 32 bits or 4 bytes of storage with 6 digits of precision, which means if you import one number in the floating data types, then it will be saved as 1.00000, which will be taking as 6-digit precision. You can also change its precision by point the required number of precision and %f. We will be discussing about it in the future because it is not necessary in this theoretical part. It will be useful in the real life program. And if you want to increase the storage for your data types, then you can use double in float by using double as its quantifier, or long double which takes 10 bytes of storage by giving 18 digits of precision. Now let's talk about the character data types, as it is also one of the most important data types that we will be using in our programs many of times. So character data types, the data types that can be used to store a single character data type. If you want to use or store many data types or many characters, then you have to go to the array that is in the derived data types, and we will discuss about it in the further videos. Characters are stored in 8 bits or 1 byte. The data type quantifier of character type data type is char. The quantifier signed or unsigned may be used with char. Signed or unsigned can be used as per the requirement of the programmer or user. The unsigned character has values between 0 to 255, while signed character has values from -127 to 127. If you want to use positive only, then you can just use unsigned, but if you want to use negative also, so you have to use signed character data types. And the conversion character is C. In the computer memory, the character data types are not saved as the characters that we typed in our keyboard. They are shaped as an ASCII code that stands for American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Anything that is given from the user that may be characters, numbers, or special symbols are changed into ASCII code, then only stored in the computer. For example, the ASCII code of A is 65, B is 66, and so on. For Z is 90. That is one capital A, and for the small a there will be different ASCII codes. By the way, you don't have to remember ASCII codes; they are not necessary. You can just write a program to find the ASCII code. I will show you the program to find the ASCII code in another page. I have already written the program. So first of all, let me read the topic and the point, then I will show you the program. When character is displayed using conversion character D, or it is converted by using the character D, it will display its ASCII value. And when it is displayed using the conversion character C, it will be displayed the character. If you use %D after typing a character, then it will directly show its ASCII value or print its ASCII value. So you can see this is the basic way that you can use to find the ASCII value. So you don't have to remember the ASCII value for each of the symbols and numbers. In this code, the declared variables C and D are character data types in which uppercase A and uppercase B are shaped respectively, and this is a program that is used to find its ASCII code, and that can be used to print its value, to print its character. Another primary data types is void data types. Actually, void data types are used to specify a type of function when it does not return any value to the calling function, and the void type has no value, so you can also call it null type. Thank you for watching till now. This much is for today, and for about derived data types and user defined data types, we will be seeing them in another video. And first of all, I will make some videos about coding in which we will be using the primary data types and keywords, which were very essential in basic C, so I have told you about them. Thanks for watching the video. If you like the video, please like it and subscribe to receive the notification about any of our new videos faster.